Shalom, brothers and sisters. Thanks for joining me today for another sharing on picking up sticks. Who wants to play? This is in reference to Numbers chapter 15, verse 32. It says, "And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath." Hey, and if you haven't done it already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Please share. It won't cost you anything. If you want to get the message out, you're spreading the word anytime you share, anytime you subscribe, anytime you get that algorithm going to spread the news of his scriptures, of his word. Yahweh will reward that diligently. So I appreciate for those who do subscribe, those who like and share and leave comments. We really do appreciate it. And you're helping sowing seeds into the kingdom. So it's a really big deal to do that. But today we're talking about picking up sticks on the Sabbath. Let's just read some verses here. In Numbers chapter 15, verse 32 through 36, it says, "And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath." So this guy, he's picking up sticks. He's doing it on the Sabbath. They that found him gathering sticks brought him unto El Moshe and El Haron, and unto all the assembly. And they put him inward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, "The man shall surely be put to death. All the assembly shall stone him with stones without the camp." And all the assembly brought him without the camp, and stoned him with stones, and he died, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. Wow, that's pretty brutal, right? Just to get stoned for picking up sticks. But there's more to this story. See, scriptures are like a mosaic, right? There's different pieces. And if we don't have the right pieces, we don't put those pieces together, our picture can become distorted. So what do we need? We need context. We need to understand historical backdrops. We need to understand writing styles. These things that a lot of us just have never really been trained in when it comes to the scriptures. So what are we going to do? We're going to build some context. If we back up from Numbers chapter 15 and we start in verse 27, we read, and it says, if any soul sins through ignorance, then he shall bring a she-goat of the first year for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for the soul that sins ignorantly, when he sins by ignorance before Yahweh, to make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. You shall have one Torah for him that sins through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourns among them. So anybody that's part of the commonwealth, that includes you. Yes. But the soul that does aught presumptuously, that's our Hebrew word yad rum, whether to be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproaches Gadaf Yahweh, right? And that soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of Yahweh and has broken his commandment. That soul shall be utterly cut off. His iniquity shall be upon him. So this word, look at here, it says presumptuously. The definition of presumptuous is of a person or their behavior failing to observe the limits of what is permitted or appropriate. So the word rum, or rosh yod mem, is to rise up, rosh va mem is to rise up, to be high, to be lofty, to be exalted. So yad rum is to have a high hand, and the word gadaf here, reproaches, is to revile, is to blaspheme God, to address in such a way that is expressed disapproval or disappointment. So with a little more context, we can see that there's a contrast in what Yah is saying here. What is being trying to communicate here is we have people who sin ignorantly, like they don't know about the Sabbath. They don't know, that that's part of Yah's covenant, his sign between him and his people. And then there's those who do know about it, who have a high hand that reproach the Father, that say, I'm going to do what I want when I want because I'm under grace, right? There's folks that just say F you, just like this guy is saying. He's saying F you, I'm going to go out and I'm going to pick up sticks. I'm going to do this on the Sabbath day, even though you told me not to do these things on the Sabbath. F you, Yahweh, I'm going to go and do my own thing. But there's more to this story. If we look in Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 18, it says, the children gather wood. That's our word sticks there, right? And the fathers kindle the fire. And the women knead their dough to make sacrificial wafers to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other Elohim, that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger, says Yahweh? Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Therefore, thus says Adonai Yahweh, behold, my anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man and upon beast, and fury shall be poured out upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn, and it shall not be quenched. Thus says Yahweh Tsevaoth, the Elohai of Yisrael, put your sending smoke offerings unto your sacrifices, and eat flesh. For I spoke not unto your fathers, nor commanded them, in the day that I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim, concerning ascending smoke offerings or sacrifices. But this commanded I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your Elohim, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I commanded you, that it may be well unto you. So when Yah brought his people out of the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt, there were no Levitical instructions on the offerings and this and that, but these people were doing it anyway, right? They had instructions from somewhere else. They had their own rules, their own way of doing things. He says, but they did not obey his voice. They did not listen to him, nor incline their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart. And they went backward and not forward, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Mitzrayim unto this day. So ever since they came out, they have not been obedient. I have even sent unto you all my servants the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they listened not unto me, nor inclined their ear, but hardened their neck. They did worse than their fathers. So it's more likely that this guy wasn't just picking up sticks on the Sabbath, but he was gathering sticks to make sacrifices, possibly to the Queen of Heaven, or to Micon, or the other gods, to Moloch, right? They were making offerings and sacrifices, burning wood, strange fire to these other gods, and they were doing it in their homes, in their own ways, and their own things on the Sabbath. They had a high hand. So when we put all the pieces to this mosaic together, when we see what's going on, it's not that Yah's just some brutal dictator that's saying this person must die. There was a lot more going on. And people who want to reject the Torah, who want to reject his Sabbath, his sign between him and his people, well, they're going to be cut off from his people in the eternal kingdom. And Yah has a kingdom. He has a structure. He has a way of doing things. And he wants us to do those things. He's saying, obey my voice. Do this, do that, and it will bring blessings. It will not bring bondage. Sin is bondage. Torah is freedom. It's life. It's walking within the commandments, the structure, the infrastructure that is in place to live a long and abundant life. And if we do these things, if we obey these things, we get the blessings. Yahweh blesses us for those. Just like you drive down the road and you obey the laws, yeah, there might be like some form of strictness, this and that, but it's for our protection, to keep us safe, to keep us blessed. And so when we are obedient to those laws of the land, we are not imprisoned. We are not locked up. We are not in bondage. So it's the same way with Yah's Torah. When we obey, we are free. We are able to move about. There's no hindrance. And so we see from this record that when people want to scoff and flip their high hand and their finger up to Yahweh and say, I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it, then we see the results of it. And we don't want these results. We want our brothers and sisters to be free. We want people to be free in the Torah. And that's what it brings to you when you obey the voice and when you turn not to do your own way and your own thing. That is walking in the Spirit. That's the Spirit of Christ, the Spirit of the Mashiach. His Spirit was to always do the Father's will. And His will is His Word. And all the prophets, from very beginning all the way to Revelation, have been trying to bring His people back to obeying His words. And He gave those words. He gave those instructions. That's all Torah is instructions on how to live the more abundant life. And that's what our Messiah came to bring back to us. So I pray that this sharing blessed you. I pray that you'll seek Him out and that you'll seek His Sabbaths and that you'll just take the time to obey that voice and just watch the blessings come upon you. Sure love you guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you on the next one. Bless you. Bye.
Yeah, explaining. Yeah, explaining.